Today, we are diving into one of the toughest, most challenging parts of raising little kids, the tantrum. We're going to look at the actual science of what's happening inside their brains, and maybe more importantly, discover just how powerful your response can be.
Oh man, if you have ever been that parent with a screaming toddler in public and you can just feel the eyes of strangers on you, you are in the right place. That feeling of helplessness, of being judged, it's so real. But I promise you, what's actually going on is not what it looks like.
So here's our game plan. We're going to talk about why tantrums are totally normal, then we'll peek inside the toddler brain to see what's firing off. After that, we'll get into your role in calming the storm, look at some common mistakes, and wrap it all up with the key takeaways. Okay, let's start with what might be the single most important thing you'll hear today. If your child has tantrums, you are not doing anything wrong. And that isn't just some feel-good platitude. It is a hard statistical fact. Get this. Over 90% of toddlers have tantrums. 91%. This isn't a sign of a bad kid, and it's definitely not a sign of a failing parent. It is a sign that your child is, well, a toddler. They're doing exactly what their developing brain is supposed to be doing. Dr. Michael Potegal, a neuroscientist who has studied hundreds of these meltdowns, put it perfectly. Think about that for a second. You don't decide to yawn when you're tired, right? Your body just does it. For a toddler, a tantrum is the very same thing. It's a biological reflex to being completely overwhelmed. It's not manipulation, it's just biology. So why? Why is this their biological go-to? Well, the answer is inside a brain that is very much under construction. And to get it, we need to meet two key players, what we'll call the emotional brain and the thinking brain. So on one side, you've got the emotional brain, the amygdala. Think of it as a super sensitive alarm system. It's fully developed and ready to go from the moment they're born, and it reacts instantly with huge feelings like anger and fear. Then, on the other side, you have the thinking brain, the prefrontal cortex. This is the manager. It's in charge of logic and impulse control and regulating emotions. But here's the kicker. It doesn't even start coming online until around age 4 or 5. And it's not fully mature until you're 25. So a toddler is basically all alarm system, with no manager in the office. Here's an easy way to picture it. Think of a pot of water on the stove. A big feeling starts building up, and the water starts to boil. That emotional alarm system sounds off immediately. But the thinking brain, which is supposed to be the lid on the pot, it isn't there yet. There's nothing to contain the pressure. And so the water boils over. That is the meltdown you're seeing on the living room floor. And this is absolutely crucial to understand. When your child is in the middle of a full-blown tantrum, their thinking, logical brain is completely offline. It's just not available. So trying to explain or reason with them, it's like trying to have a rational conversation with someone whose rational brain has been temporarily unplugged. The words just can't get through. Okay, so if you can't reason with them, what on earth are you supposed to do? Well, this is where you become the most powerful tool in the room, and it all comes down to this idea of co-regulation. Co-regulation is a really cool concept from neuroscience. Basically, since a child's brain can't regulate itself yet, it does something amazing. It literally borrows your nervous system to find its way back to calm. Your steady breathing, your low voice, those are biological signals telling their brain that they are safe. I love this phrase from the early childhood organization 0 to 3. It just says it all, doesn't it? Your calm is their calm. You are their external regulator. You're lending them your calm until they're old enough to build their own. And of course, the reverse is also true. If you start yelling or getting tense, their little alarm system goes, whoa, even the big person is freaking out. This must be a really big emergency. And that just pours gasoline on the fire. It makes the whole meltdown bigger and last longer. So, knowing all this brain science lets us shift from just reacting in the moment to being a little more strategic. Let's look at some of the common traps we all fall into and understand, from a brain perspective, why they just don't work. We've all been there. It's so easy to yell back or try to reason with them or bribe them to just be quiet. But now we know why that stuff doesn't work. It doesn't address the biological storm that's happening. The key is to try and sidestep these reactive pitfalls and choose a path that signals safety and connection instead. Okay, that was a lot of information, I know. So let's boil it all down into a simple recap, something you can actually remember in that complicated, high-stress moment. So here it is, 4 things to keep in your back pocket. Number 1, this is normal. It's biology, not bad behavior. 2. Remember the brain science. The alarm is on, but the manager is out of the office. 3. Co-regulation is your superpower. Your calm is their calm. And 4. Try to avoid the common traps that just make everything worse.
And finally, let's end on this because it is so important. The goal is not to be a perfect parent who handles every single meltdown with flawless grace. The goal is just to be a present parent. Some days you'll nail it, other days not so much. What really matters is that you just keep showing up, now with this understanding. You're not aiming for perfect, you're just aiming for present.